We all face challenges. It's so easy to see them as just problems we have to solve, or even worse, punishments we have to get through. But what if every single struggle was actually an invitation to something more? Let's explore how we can start to reframe these moments and find the higher purpose that's hiding inside them.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? Just for a second, think about a tough situation you're dealing with right now. Is it really just an obstacle in your way? Or could it be something that's been perfectly designed for your own growth, for your own evolution?
When it comes down to it, we really have two basic ways to respond. On one side, you've got complaining, that all too familiar, why me feeling that, let's be honest, just pushes us further away from any kind of peace. But then on the other side, there's acceptance. It's this mindset that says, okay, this is for my growth. It's a small shift in words, but it does something huge. It starts building a bridge to trust.
And that's exactly what this is. Acceptance is that bridge. It's the thing that carries us from that place of frustration and why is this happening, all the way over to a place of trust and understanding, even when we can't see the whole picture yet.
To really get a feel for this, let's dive into a story. It's a story all about perspective and the kind of hidden wisdom that's often found in nature's design.
So let's meet Vikram. He's a bit of a skeptic. You know the type, kind of looks at the world and thinks, I probably could have designed this a little better. One day, he's just relaxing under this massive banyan tree, looking around and feeling pretty smug about his assessment of nature's flaws.
He actually says to his friend, "This is just ridiculous. Look at this. This giant tree has these teeny tiny little berries, but that fragile little vine over there is struggling to hold up a huge pumpkin. It's all backwards." But right at that moment, a tiny berry falls from the tree and bonks him lightly on the shoulder. And in that instant, everything clicks. He looks up at those massive branches and realizes if nature had followed his design, he would have been in some serious trouble.
And that's the big lesson from Vikram's story, right? What might look like a flaw or something that makes no sense is often a perfect, protective design that we just don't have the perspective to see yet. So this first step is all about learning to trust that there might be a larger plan at play.
Okay, but what happens when just trusting the plan isn't enough? What about when a situation is practically screaming for us to get involved? Well, this brings us to our next story, which is all about the incredible power that gets unlocked the moment we switch from complaining to acting.
Picture this, a village totally wiped out by drought. The ground is cracked, everyone's spirits are broken, they've all just given up. Well, almost everyone. There's this 53-year-old woman named Savitri, and she didn't see a hopeless crisis, she saw an opportunity to create a solution.
And get this, while the entire village was complaining, Savitri just picked up a shovel and started digging. The scale of what she did is just mind-blowing. All by herself, she dug not one, but two 60-foot wells in only 6 months. That's a job that would normally take a whole team to accomplish.
Her story shows us something so powerful. The moment we stop complaining and start acting with real intention, we tap into a much greater energy. We literally become partners in creation. Savitri didn't just find water. She single-handedly turned a crisis that defeated an entire village into a blessing that brought it back together.
So, we've seen how trusting the design gives us perspective, and how taking action can literally turn a crisis into a blessing. But there's a third, even deeper layer to all this, the energy that we ourselves bring to the table. So let's turn inward for a minute and explore a story about the power of our internal state of peace.
Now, this is going to sound a little wild, but just stay with me. A man named Rohan wanted to prove that our internal frequency, our personal vibration, has a real, tangible effect on the world. So what does he do? He decides to spend 72 hours inside a glass box with 72 venomous creatures. Yeah.
So, how in the world did he survive? Well, the key wasn't courage in the way we usually think of it, like being dominant or controlling the situation. His whole approach was something totally different. It was genuine compassion.
Because his internal energy, his vibration, was one of calm and love, the creatures just didn't sense any threat. They didn't react with fear or aggression. They actually harmonized with his peaceful state. Now, just think about that for a second. If a peaceful internal state can do that with wild animals, imagine how it could transform your difficult conversations, your stressful projects at work, or even just your daily relationships.
Okay, these stories are amazing illustrations, but the big question is, how do we apply this stuff? How do we take these lessons and use them? let's talk about building a really solid foundation for your own inner peace.
Now, the core of this is something some people call divine truth, but you absolutely do not need to be religious to get this. At its heart, it's simply the deep understanding of who you are at your core. It's the spiritual bedrock of your life.
And honestly, the stakes are pretty high. Without that solid foundation, we tend to just collapse under stress. External events get to decide how we feel inside. But when you have that foundation, your core pillars, your health, your family, your finances, they stay stable. The storms can rage outside, but that inner love and peace, they stay untouched.
And what you get from building this foundation is something you could call a peace guarantee. It's like this internal insurance policy that promises no matter what happens on the outside, your core sense of well-being is safe and secure.
So how do we even start building this? Here's a super simple practical technique you can try today. It's called the garden technique. First step, just observe. Go find a flower or even a leaf on a tree, and for a few minutes, just study its intricate details. The second step is to shift. You're consciously moving your focus from all the chaotic noise in your head to the quiet beauty that's right there in front of you. And by doing that, you create this peaceful inner space where your soul can just breathe.
Ultimately, the message here is this: the higher purpose you're looking for in your struggles, it's not something that's going to be revealed to you from the outside. It's already waiting right there, inside you, ready to be discovered. It's about trusting the plan, building your foundation, and accepting the journey.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Looking at whatever challenge is sitting in front of you right now, whether it's big or small, how will you choose to find the higher purpose in it today?